All right, so we are going to review today everything we've done with angles. So the first thing we're going to look at is reading a protractor. We've got this angle FAD. When you're reading a protractor, start with F. So F is on the left side here. That means I've got two numbers to read. 0 is on the outside or 180 on the inside. When you're starting counting on a number line, what do you start with? 0, right? So it's the same thing on a protractor. That means we're going to read the outside where it starts at 0. So FAD, the outside number, is 150. If they were to ask me if they said angle CAD, C is on the right side, so 0 is on the inside of the protractor on that side. So if I start on the right, I read the inside. That would be 30 degrees. Does that make sense? So people are still getting confused on that, so we got to be careful. And we talked about obtuse, acute, right and straight angles. All right, so this one, it says that we've got angle 1 is 3x minus 75. Well, angle 1 is also what? 90 degrees. If I look at that, that is a right angle right there, which is 90 degrees. So I set it up as this equation, two-step equation, and then solve. So add 75. 3x equals, what is that, 15? Divide by 3, x equals 5. Right? Now, x is not 5 degrees, right? Because the angle measure is 90 degrees. X is 5. Keep that separate. X is not always your angle measure. It can be your angle measure, but it's not always. In this case, it most definitely is not. All right, now, we had some like this, got some people because they give you more information than what you need to know. I don't even care about that line right there. That's there to try and throw us off. It says angle ABC is 46 degrees. Well, angle ABC is also this one right here. It is also 2x plus 14. So now I would just solve, right? So make sure you decipher what information is needed, what's not needed to set up your problem. Figure 1, is that complementary or supplementary? It's complementary because, right, complementary means two angles that equal 90. So that means figure 2 is supplementary because that means two angles equal 180. So we're going to use that information as well to help us set up equations. All right, so here we go. You guys try this one. Angle 1 is 57. Angle 2 is 3x. Go ahead, solve for x. Okay, so I did 3x plus 57 equals what? 90, right? What did you get when you solved it, Noah? 11? Yep, should have gotten 11. Questions on that? Adjacent. What does adjacent mean? They want an adjacent supplementary angle to 57. LJ, what's adjacent mean? Complementary would mean that you would subtract it from 90. What's adjacent? Supplementary. What's adjacent? What's the word adjacent mean? No? Right, they're sitting side by side. They're next to each other. They're sharing a vertex and a side. So if they're adjacent supplementary, it would be these two. Because supplementary would be 180 degrees. You would look for what makes a straight line on those. You remember that, right? Yes, Mr. Swanson. All right, a straight angle, they're saying FOG is 35. Is it possible to have FOG 35? Well, no, because that's an obtuse angle, isn't it? FOG is obtuse. 35 degrees is not obtuse, so they did something wrong here. Together, these two angles should equal what? 180, right? Straight line. So what am I doing with that 180? I'm going to take x, whatever FOG is, plus 55. So I'm subtracting 55 from 180. I'm going to get into some tricky ones here. All right, vertical angles. Remember what vertical angles are? FJY. So here's what I do for vertical angles. When I'm identifying, there's more things going on here than what I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these lines and I'm going to extend them. So I'm going to take this line, extend it, take this line, extend it. My given was right there. So now I can see vertically the angle MJS is across from it. Right? Vertical means they're across. They're also equal in measure. Make sense? You guys remember that? Of course you do, right? Okay. So how would I set this one up? Anybody know? They're vertical. Wow. 130, right, equals 6x plus 40 because they're vertical. So we set them up equal to one another. Subtract 40, subtract 40. That gives me 90 equals 6x. Then divide by 6. What's 90 divided by 6? 15? Makes sense? You guys try this one. This one got lots to people yesterday on the homework. Can y'all see that? This is x over 8. This one is 48. So go ahead, solve for x. Okay, so how are we setting this one up? Who can set it up for me? Come on. You're making the people sit at home watching this video. Wait. Are you thrown off because you got a huge number? Okay, that's okay. You should have a huge number on this. We got these two angles on this side form a straight line, don't they? So that means together they're going to be equal to 180. So I'm going to say x over 8 plus the 48 equals 180. So you set it up correctly if you did this. Now we're going to subtract 48. Subtract 48. That's 132 equals x over 8. And then how do I get rid of the x divided by 8? You're going to multiply by 8, right? What's 132 times 8? 1,000 what? 1,056. Is that what you got? Okay. That is the right answer here. Because we are looking for x, not the angle measure. This is not an angle measure. Remember I said x is not your angle measure. Sometimes it will be, but in this case, x over 8 is your angle measure. So that's your answer. All right. Any other questions? No? What if I gave you, what if I look at one from last night? I keep getting this question. 5x minus 2, 4x plus 10. You guys know what to do on this? What? Okay, well before, how would I set this up, first of all? Are they equal to 90? Are they equal to 180? Are they equal to each other? What? They're vertical angles, so that means they are equal to each other. So I'm going to go 4x plus 10 is equals to 5x minus 2. Okay, I got variables on both sides. We've never talked about that, have we? What? I can't combine them because I would be moving across the equal sign. So I can't put them together normally. So how do I move things across the equal sign? Let's just say I wanted to get rid of 4x. How would I get rid of 4x on the left side? What? What? Subtract it, right? If I was to try and get rid of the 10, you would say subtract it, right? Because you're adding it. So it's the same thing with the 4x. Well, if I do that on the left side, what do I have to do on the right side? Subtract 4x. So now we're left with 10 equals 1x minus 2. So how do I get rid of the minus 2? Add 2. So in this case, x would be equal to 12. So what if I said, what's the angle measure now? What would you do to find the angle measure? No? Right, plug 12 in here. 5 times 12 is 60. Minus 2 would be 58. Now, obviously, it's not drawn to scale, is it? I just made these numbers up. I should have put them in the other spots. That would have worked. You're not going to see anything like that on the test, but be aware that that's where you're going to be going with math next year in algebra. You have variables on both sides. Okay? All right, remainder of the time is yours to work because this is due tomorrow before class. So I'm giving you lots of time in class to work on it and ask questions, all right? Test tomorrow.